Hi, welcome to Social Media Day. Hopefully you've been following along on our posts that are all over all of our social media channels. I'm Vanessa and I am the marketing director here at Green Tea Design. And we have figured out over the years that one of the biggest sort of topics that people have questions about is social media. So, lots of questions about websites, lots of questions about logos and all the other things that we do, but social media, time and time again, is the one area that we get lots of questions. So we're taking your top questions today. We're going to try to answer them. And hopefully you can use some of these answers to apply to your business. Also, if you have any questions that you think of as I'm talking, go ahead and type them below. Even if you don't watch this live, if you watch the republished broadcast on any of the channels, go ahead and post your comments below and we'll either respond to you via the comments or do a secondary post. So if you have questions about social media, ask away. So don't hesitate. So some of you submitted questions, and one of the biggest sort of first and foremost questions that we have is, how do I get more engagement, so like follower interactions or clicks on social media? So you're probably referring mostly to Facebook, right? So that's one of the hardest places to get engagement right now. So we're going to give you a few tips. These tips can be used across the board for whatever social media channel you're using. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, it'll work for all of them. Hi, Christina. I see you're watching. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to try to check in a little bit on here, but I've, got lots of places to look. So I'm sorry if I don't say hi to you, but welcome, Christina. Okay, so to get some more engagement on social media, you want to be using your Reels and your Stories. Those are available on both Instagram and Facebook. Instagram, of course, is where they started. That's a big popular place for them. We're going to go into describing them a little bit more, but using your Reels and Stories is going to get you engagement. It's places that people are just hanging out right now in the social realm. It's a good place to post videos, to post sort of fun, really personal connection type posts. Even when you're a business, you want to connect personally to all of your audience. Okay, so you can be professional and still connect to them, still make them feel like they know you or know your business or your product. Another really good thing to boost that interaction is to ask questions. You can show polls. You can just ask a general question. You could do a this or that, or which do you like better. Maybe you have a project that you're working on and your followers can actually vote on what color to paint it or what design for the next t-shirt. All of those are really, really good ways to get your interactions up organically. So you can always put some dollars behind these posts as well. So if your post is already getting a lot of interaction and you throw a few dollars on that for a week or so, you're going to see even more interaction. So always boost, or we should say put money on what's working. So the next thing that we are suggesting is post things that are similar to your other high performing posts. So you can use your insights to figure out what is really working for you. So when you look at your insights, there's going to be an area on Facebook, if you're looking at Facebook Insights, that tells you what is your top performing organic posts. And when that is there displayed for you, you can see the different types of, you can see it on the screen there, I have it up for you. You can see the different types of posts that it's saying get the highest reach. You can see that usually it's people's faces. That's for us especially. So I kind of always keep that in mind. People's faces work great, of course, with their permission. So we know that whenever we post something that has someone's face in it or is talking about like a thing that we did, and it's not salesy, it's just sort of about us, that always gets more engagement. People give us the heart, people comment, that kind of stuff. So look at your insights. If you don't know how to use them, we do offer social media training. So you can always contact us and get that set up, and we can teach you how to use your insights, and that's through Facebook. And the really cool thing about Facebook and Instagram being connected is they will show you information on both of them in the same place. So you can determine that information, which is better for Instagram and which is better for Facebook. Sometimes it's the same, Sometimes it's different. LinkedIn, YouTube, they all have different types of insights that you can look at. And we can help you determine which posts are really working. And you may just know. You may say, boy, I post all the time. I get 1 or 2 likes. I posted this other thing and I got 100 likes. So, likes are not exactly what you're going for unless that's what you're going for. So if you're trying to get people to purchase your product, likes might not be the most important. But we know with the algorithms on social media, the more interaction you get, the more your product and services is going to get out there. So really use the data and follow up on that. Also, posting at the right time. If you look at Facebook Planner, which is a place that you can schedule your posts for both Facebook and Instagram and also to stories. Planner will give you, and we're going to have an example popping up on the screen here, there will give you a good time to post. When you start using Planner, you'll see that sometimes they recommend the same time all the time. That might just be when your audience is on, but you can always play with it a little bit. Post at a slightly different time, see what kind of interaction you get, use Facebook suggestion, see what interaction you get, and then use that as a testing tool to compare what times are really working for you. Side note on Facebook Planner, if you aren't using it, it's an amazing tool. We're going to mention it several times. And if you go to the social media landing page and sign up for Social Media Day, there is a free training. Normally we would charge you for a training like this. It's very in-depth training that you can take. So if you do any scheduling on Facebook or Instagram or want to do scheduling, you're going to want to take that training. So just go ahead and go to our landing page. The link is in the comments as well, and you can sign up and you'll get an email with that information. Okay, so besides posting at the right time, you want to post the right stuff, right? So start a conversation. You want to talk to your clients, to your customers, to your audience. The people on the other side of the screen are people. They are, just like you. They want to know. They have questions. They want to know how to use that product. Why would I need that service? So really talk to them instead of just saying, I offer this, I sell this. Hey, do you want to buy this from me? Really talk to them and get an idea about what they're looking for, answer questions like we're doing. Going live and doing videos is a great way to get the conversation started, and people will tend to kind of pay attention a little longer. They get notified. So I know a lot of you don't like to hear it, but doing video is one of the best ways to get that interaction going, especially when you're starting a really good conversation. So those are some of our top ways that you can get engagement on social media. Of course, you can always do some ads. You can do some crazy creative out of the box things and just have lots of people tag you and lots of people talking about you just because they're your friends and they're going to help you out. Those are great ways short term, but long term, really using your data and paying attention to what your audience is responding to is going to be the best way to do that. Again, if you need help with that, we do offer trainings, and we can even create content calendars so you kind of know what to post along the way. So if you need help, don't feel bad about reaching out. You're very busy doing a million other things with your job besides just posting, of course. Okay, so we mentioned stories and reels. Another question that we get a lot, and this question comes in the form of several different ways. One of the ways is, what's the difference between stories and reels? Often we hear, what's a story? What's a reel? What is this thing? Why is it telling me to do it? Do I need to do this? Do I have to be on camera? We get all those questions. So we're going to talk about specifically Instagram when it comes to stories and reels. There are some differences between the two. They also vary slightly on Facebook. So we're going to talk just Instagram right now, which is kind of traditionally the place that most people are using them. So reels, you've seen it. When you log into Instagram, it gives you the option as soon as you go to post something to do a reel. Reels can show up on your feed. They can help find new followers, especially if you're using your hashtags. And you can have a public conversation with comments and replies. Stories, on the other hand, are directed to those already following you, and the conversation is more private, like private messaging. So, you'll see the stories kind of scroll along, and then that's just, you're only seeing the stories of people that you're following. And then knowing that when you post a story, it's only people who are already following you that are going to see those stories. So you are going to have a conversation with people who already are connected to you in one way or another. It is a good place to use a little bit more sales approach. You know, these are warm clients. They already know you. They've already chosen to follow you. So maybe this is where you do talk to them about your product, about your sales, and things that somebody who's already comfortable using you and giving you money, they'd feel comfortable with buying or getting something from you. So stories are great for that. Reels are good for all of that, but then also they're good for finding new people. So new people are going to be able to find you as long as your profile is set to public. So remember, stories disappear after 24 hours. Again, that's the stories are just the audience that are already following you. They're going to disappear after 24 hours. Reels can stay indefinitely until you take them down. They can show up on your feed, and they will also show up if people search hashtags and that kind of stuff. So there's lots of places to find them. Stories are 15 seconds in length, and Reels can go up to 90 seconds in length. Remember, we're talking Instagram. So in stories, you want to remember that everything's going to be broken up into 15-second segments. You can do a series of them and, post about your day or tell a longer story to create, using stories to tell a story, but it will be broken up into 15-second segments. Reels, 90 seconds, and you're done. You can do a part 1, you can do a part 2. Just remember, if somebody's discovering you from part 3 of your story, they're going to have to follow you and go back and find part 1 and part 2. So make sure in the caption you mark that really well.
Vanessa, we have a question here.
Okay.
Luke wants to know, should he put more energy into Reels or stories?
Well, so that's kind of a double-edged sword. So do you want to nurture the clients that you already have, or do you want to find new clients? So you want to sort of to do both, really. It depends on what the content is. Again, if the content is something that your audience is going to respond to, they already know you, they already know what you're doing, maybe you want to sell them something, then posting in stories is great. And if it's short form content, you can do it in 15 seconds or a couple 15-second increments. For Reels, again, you're going to be finding a broader audience, and you have the potential to find new clients. So things that that people will respond to who may not trust you yet to purchase from you, and that is the ultimate goal of marketing. If you're just looking to gain new followers right now, kind of get your name out, grow your reach, Reels is a great place. I would recommend that Reels is something that when you put energy into Reels, it takes a lot of energy. So Reels can be very creative and very interesting, and people love them. Or if you're just like doing a boring post, which I'm sure you're not doing, but people are just going to skip right over that. Reels is, and I'm sure you've scrolled through the Reels feed, the short form video, people just scroll. So if you're doing something to really get their attention, go with Reels and get their attention. You're going to reach to new audiences, to your current audience, and kind of make everybody happy. If you just sort of want to give some information, if you want to talk about an event you're at that people who don't know you yet might not even really care that you're there, you want to talk about being at a trade show and, just any kind of maybe you're photographing, a wedding or something, and you want to talk about some really cool shots you got, that would be good for stories. And, maybe just a series of pictures might not be too interesting to somebody who is scrolling through a series of a million other really interesting short form videos. So I can't really give you a direct answer which one's better, but that you can decide based on the content that you're sharing which one would be better at that time. And we do want to let you know that you can share Reels to your stories. So if you create the reel and it's doing awesome, then share it to your stories too. It will just get broken up. So, you don't always have to create something new for every section of every social media platform. Hopefully that answers your question. If you have follow-up questions, feel free. Let us know. Okay, so For Reels, also, you can add a full caption and up to 30 hashtags. This might also help you, Luke. Stories have no caption and only up to 10 hashtags. So those hashtags can be used, again, to find new people. So if you use the right hashtags and people are searching that particular topic and your reel comes up, they might start to follow you. Some reels that get attention in this way are like time lapse or sped up, or videos that are slowed down. So the building of something, the creating of something, the designing, the drawing, the painting, that kind of stuff. People will stop the cooking, the decorating. They'll want to see what it is. The other thing to think about is that oftentimes people are watching these videos and they're watching them when they can't actually listen to the sound. So captions are good, or putting up sort of the story also in text throughout the reels. That also will tend to get people to slow their scroll, right? So that's the goal, slow the scroll, and to take a look at you. So if you're using those really good hashtags and then people are finding you in the Explore tab, having sort of those tidbits that will catch people's eye and they'll stop and watch the video for longer than just a few seconds is a really good way to use those. So stories only appear in the stories section. Reels can appear in the Reels feed, on the Explore tab if the account is public, on the user's feed, or in hashtag searches. You can also share your Reels to stories, but remember that they'll be broken up into 15-second increments. So I just want to kind of remind you and reiterate that you can reuse your content, especially content that is really going well. Like, so if you share a reel and lots of people are loving it and you're really getting a lot of good information, then you can share it to stories too. Maybe you just share it to stories up front and see where it performs better. So do a little bit of testing with your own page, and you'll be able to determine which one is either better, or maybe you should spend a little more energy on this one versus that one. Again, just reels, tend to take a little bit more effort in the editing and the transitions and all of that. So just resharing them to stories can be helpful. Okay, did we answer all the questions about reels and stories so far? If any more come in, we can always come back to it.
Can I interject real quick?
Absolutely. So, and I do, Alan is probably going to mention his Reels tips video that we have. So
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to do. So if you sign up on the link in the comments, not only do you get Vanessa's training on Facebook Planner, but you also get a fun little vlog that I did about Reels and how to get started with Reels. So that's worth checking out.
Yeah, and side note, the planner training and the Reels tips you can only get if you sign up. It will not be posted to social media today or probably at any time in the future. There's no cost. All we're asking is that you sign up and we will email it to you. And really, we're just trying to determine people who are really interested in those types of information. It's one of our ways of testing. You'll probably get follow-up emails from us about other social media tips unless you opt out. So that's really all you're giving us is an email, and you certainly can unsubscribe in the future. But it's a really, really good double dose of training of things that are just happening now and working really well for social media. So you'll probably want to get those. Okay, so I hear this a lot too. Switching gears, what should I post on my LinkedIn profile? Right, so you probably are comfortable with Facebook and Instagram. You understand that they can be a little more quirky and you can be sillier, you can be funny. It doesn't have to be so salesy. And then all of a sudden comes LinkedIn. And you should be using it. If you actually look at our LinkedIn page, we have some really amazing tips. And I think one of the statistics is that a complete and active LinkedIn profile will get 5 times more the reach, views. Some don't quote me exactly. Look at our LinkedIn page. But using LinkedIn is great. It's really, really good for business professionals. So if that's your service, if you're in the sort of the professional services, LinkedIn is a really great place to be. It's not just for finding jobs, just so you know. So we've compiled just a few ideas of things that you could post on LinkedIn if you wanted to. So first of all, you just want to think of LinkedIn as a business mixer, right? So when you go to a business mixer, it's not stuffy, it's not boring, it's not a business presentation. It's maybe you have a drink, you have a little bit of food, you introduce yourself. Everyone's there expecting to say, oh, hi, I don't know you. What do you do? So LinkedIn's similar. Like, they're expecting for you to be able to talk about what you do, your knowledge, and your expertise. You don't want to be salesy or spammy, but it's totally acceptable to say, look at me, I got quoted in this, article or this magazine or this newspaper or whatever. So, it's kind of has that feel. So it's a great place to post things if you want to, keep connecting on the human side. Work anniversaries, employee recognition, accomplishments, milestones like years that you've been opened, or growth. Maybe you've opened a new branch of your company or industry. So it's a really good place to kind of give those shout outs, still talk about people, still show people's faces, still talk about things like why you love your job and why you started the company and your story and your history, but make it kind of personalized, and then you can get more interaction that way for sure. Going back to the interaction question. Also, think about your audience while they are working. So who is following you? Who are your potential customers? And what are they doing throughout the day? What does their job look like? So what kinds of things might they, when they stop and look at LinkedIn, be interested in hearing about? So of course, from us, it's, the tips, the how to do your job type stuff from us. So, yours might be completely different, but just kind of think about what your audience is doing when they're looking at LinkedIn. Most people don't sit and scroll LinkedIn. Most people go to LinkedIn purposefully. So what are they looking for when they come to LinkedIn, and how can you help them? So professional services can benefit from posting a longer form posts like blogs or series of tips or how-tos. It's a great place to share articles you've written or that you've been tagged in or quoted in, like I said, so you can have much longer form posts. And you know how the other platforms, again, slowing the scroll is the hardest thing to do. People are just scrolling. Where when they go to LinkedIn for a purpose, they might be looking for information, expertise from a specific industry, and they're willing to read a longer form post. Job postings are great for LinkedIn. So even though we said it's not just for finding a job, it's also for finding employees and employment. And if I could have added another question in here, that probably would have been the biggest question, is how do I find new employees and good employees who are going to stay, right? We hear that all the time. How can I get my job postings out there? LinkedIn is a great place for that. As with all other platforms, focus on your frequently asked questions. So when people come in for training and they say, I don't know what to post, I don't know what to say, my boss has told me I'm supposed to post on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is, and I don't know what to post. Our answer is always start with your frequently asked questions. It might be, what are your hours? So you might not have those listed somewhere. Probably should get them listed, but also that's something you can post about. Holiday hours, how do you charge? How can I purchase? Whatever your frequently asked questions are, how do I use this product that I've just bought from you? Those kinds of things are great to post on there. So, post what your clients really need. Some other things that you could post on LinkedIn. Let's see, industry news roundups. So you can kind of say, this is what happened in an industry. Sometimes we'll post changes that happen in the social media world. We know they happen all the time, right? So it's kind of hard to keep up, or even try to get you to keep up with all of the changes and the new algorithms and that kind of stuff. But we will post if big news comes out from Google or from Facebook, from Meta, we will post that. Tease or post snippets from your podcasts. So, podcasts are great. And if you're using them, that's awesome. So, you do want to kind of let people know on other platforms how they can find you, what the next podcast is going to be about, that you even have a podcast. Remember that people who are just scrolling social media don't necessarily have any idea what all you do. So go ahead and tell them about some of those other things that you do. Go ahead and do an occasional intro post by video, a sort of let me introduce myself. So if you've ever been to a business mixer, you'll know that that's one of the things that you do. You walk around, let me introduce myself. This is my company. This is what we do. Here's my business card. It's going to need to be a little bit more interesting like that to do a post on LinkedIn, but tell your audience, how the company started, why you started it, what got you to the point that you are today. You're a brand new business, and this is why you wanted to start this business. Whatever it is, go ahead and just talk about your business. And this is when you can kind of change the focus from the audience to yourself, just for a few posts. And then, just let people know what they can expect from you and from your business. Helpful infographics. Again, people are coming to LinkedIn for a purpose. Give them your expertise, whether it's in an infographic, in a video, in a blog, whatever it is. As with all platforms, avoid being spammy or salesy. You don't want every post to be, buy my product. This is what I do. Use my services. This is what I do. Don't make all your posts like that because people don't like that. Give them information they can use. And think about who you're connected to and focus on what your audience is looking for. So those posts, and you can make a separate content calendar just for LinkedIn and really just focus on those posts and that audience and what do they want to hear from you. Maybe you just take posts that you've already done and kind of change them around so they're more helpful from a business perspective to usually another business. But even when you're selling business to business, there's still a human behind that other business. There's a person who's going to make a decision. Are we going with company A or are we going with company B? Tell them why they should go with company A, with your company, of course, without being like, well, because I'm better than company B. Just prove it to them. If you don't have to say it, you can just show it with all your other things that you talk about. Okay, so any questions on LinkedIn? I don't think we saw any come in. All right, but if you have more, drop them below, of course. All right, do reviews matter on social media? Gigantic, yes. Yes, they matter for lots of reasons. Okay, so as long as they're genuine, of course. So don't pay people for good reviews. Don't give them a deal if they leave you a good review. Can you offer a coupon or run a contest for them leaving a review in general? Absolutely. You cannot pay people for good reviews. Not only is it not right, it's just not genuine. I want to look at a restaurant and know that the food is always hot. And when I get there, it's going to be hot, right? So I don't want just somebody's friend to have posted it there because they're trying to help someone out, and then you get there and it's bad service. The reviews are going to be even worse then. So get genuine reviews. So one of the really great things about reviews on social media, and not just the ones scrolling on your website or the ones printed on your brochure, is that people can actually check and see if this is a real person, if they desire. If they want to do a little investigation, they can click on the profile picture. You can kind of get an idea. All right, has this person ever posted before this review, or is it just a fake profile? Did the owner's child from the company just make 20 profiles and go leave a bunch of reviews? So you can kind of figure that out on your own. It makes them more genuine, of course, and makes you feel like they're real people writing the reviews. Reviews can also give new customers an idea of what they can expect from your business, and this includes how you handle negative reviews. It happens. Everyone has a bad day, and it always happens that when you have the bad day, the person who is prone to complaining about it shows up at your door, right? It's just how it works. It happens to lots of businesses. It's something that we handle for businesses a lot, responding to reviews that they've gotten that are not so great. And we know they're an amazing company. We know that everything's great, but the experience that customer had was, for whatever reason, not great. So responding to it in the appropriate way, in the same fashion they leave the review. If they leave the review on Google, respond to them on Google. If they leave it on Facebook, respond to them on Facebook. And make sure that people can see your response. Don't private message them. If they do it publicly, you publicly respond. If you need to be able to take the emotion out of it and you need someone else to do it, that's what we're here for. But how you respond to negative reviews sometimes tells way more of a story than all of the positive reviews that you have. So creating a strategy to get more reviews is always a good idea. Requests for reviews can be sent out via email. You could do a mailed postcard after a service is performed. Leave a QR code on a flyer. Leave with the client from one of your service professionals that go out and maybe they're actually directly talking to the clients. You could leave a QR code. And you always want to include ways for customer who may have concerns to reach out to you prior to writing their review as well. So make sure you have good customer service strategies in place. You don't want to say, well, we got all these bad reviews. I didn't even know the customer was upset. You want to encourage them to contact you first, of course, so they're not messing up your social media and saying, oh, they were awful, when really you didn't know that there was a problem going on. So try to handle that, knowing that, that could potentially happen. But getting the reviews on there is great. And our web developer is going to love me for saying this, but reviews are great for SEO. They're really, really good. That could be a whole separate training and a whole other kind of explanation. But reviews are good for SEO, which is search engine optimization. They're really good for customer relations and customer service. And they're really good for just in general when you log on to a page and you see that they have, a 4.8 out of 5 or a 4.5 out of 5 or 5 out of 5 is great, although that doesn't always happen. So reviews are good. Yes, you should be trying to get them. And of course, be smart about it. Don't send your most disgruntled customer a please review us on Facebook form. That would be silly. But, trying to get reviews is a really good thing. So yes, for the question. Oh, and actually I just saw one of our graphics that's coming up. And that reminded me that reviews are also great to use as posts. So it's a great way to kind of talk and brag about yourself as a business without having to do it yourself. So client testimonials, if somebody leaves you a review and they're willing to do it on video, amazing content. So use those reviews to your advantage. Go ahead and post them as posts, and just you could shout out the business or the person if they're okay with that. You can try to ask permission for reviews, of course, and don't post reviews with pictures of like kids or something like that unless you've gotten permission from the people to post the picture. So even if they leave a review publicly, our standard practice is just to do a secondary ask if there's kids involved or people who look younger, less minor age. But if a client just sends you a quick snippet on Google or Facebook and says, 5 stars, I had a great experience, feel free to copy and paste that and use that as a review. You can always tag them if it's a business too. We've actually gotten business from somebody leaving us a review and us sharing the review, and then somebody in the same industry followed up that day and said, wait, I want a logo too. You do that? Okay, cool. I want that. So literally it works. So reviews are great. All right, last but not least, how can I post on social media when I don't have very much time? You just told me I'm supposed to make sure I do videos and reels and stories and do posts and look for reviews and get more reviews. And then I'm also supposed to do the rest of my job, right? We get it. This is the hardest question to answer because some of it takes just some pre-planning. Again, we're going to mention having a content calendar. It is the most helpful thing you can have. Your strategy is laid out for you. Maybe you have it for 1 month or 3 months. You can download the free content calendar that just became available. There's a link under our welcome video where you can get that. There's also links basically everywhere on our social media. If you just go to our Facebook or our website, you'll be able to get it. So there's lots of places. The link should be on here too. You can just go and download the content calendar. It's free for you to use. It's generalized so that every industry can kind of make it work for them. It's almost just steal and post. You might have to edit it slightly for your industry specifically. But it gives you suggestions for pictures to post and videos to post and when to post them, what day of the week. So we make it really easy on you. So all you have to do is kind of grab the pieces that we've suggested. So we give you all the ideas. So get a content calendar. If you don't want ours, that's fine, but make one for yourself. You can also, it's a service that we offer, is we will create content calendars that are specialized for your industry. So besides the content calendar, use your scheduling tools. So if you have your content calendar there and you know what you're going to post for the next month and you have most of the pieces, something might be, picture from the gala we're attending. Well, you'll have to wait till the gala happens, right? But use your planning and publishing tools. So that is stuff like Facebook Planner. There are also other third-party applications that you can use that you can pre-schedule and get those posts ready to go out. Get the stories ready to go out, all of that. So you can just kind of set it and forget it. Just take a moment, maybe Monday morning or Wednesday morning or whatever works for you. Give yourself an hour and say, okay, I'm going to go through and make sure I have everything planned that I need. And if I need to gather information, I can work that into the rest of my week's schedule. You're going to see a snippet here of Facebook Planner. And it's so helpful. They even give you moments. They give you extra suggestions beyond the content calendar that we give you. So it makes it really, really easy. So use those tools. Don't try to just do everything right at that moment and publishing it at the right time. Okay, so have a plan. Post as much as you can at one time by pre-scheduling it. Practice getting in the mindset of this would be great for Facebook. This would be great for Instagram. This would be great for LinkedIn. Let's get a group photo at this event we're all at. Once you kind of get that mindset down, some of those impromptu, we'll just throw this up on Facebook real quick, and they get the most engagement. So, just kind of have that sort of in the back of your mind. It's a habit that you have to create. It's like remembering to drink water. Remember to focus on the pictures and the video that you need for social media. When that's your job and that's what you're tasked with, you just kind of want to keep that in mind. And then set aside time each week to review and post and comment on the things that people have posted. So going back to getting more engagement, if people comment on one of your posts, respond to it. Reply, let them know where they can purchase, answer their question, give them further follow-up, or just say thank you. But make sure you're replying. So take that time to go through and see if there's mentions or tags that you could be sharing or reviews that have been posted. That is pretty much the easiest way to save yourself time with social media. If it's part of your job and not all of your job, it can be hard to squeeze it in. So we completely understand. It does happen. But having a plan in place will certainly help. And then, of course, we have the links for the training that includes the planner training and the Reels training, and that is on the social media landing page. And then also the link to our content calendar we just sent it out yesterday, 2 days ago, this week, and it starts tomorrow. So you're not even behind the 8 ball. You can download it today and start having posts for tomorrow. And just sort of a little note, I think tomorrow is like International Joke Day or something. So get a joke ready for your industry and go ahead and post a joke or, a video of something funny, and you'll join in the conversation. All right, well, I hope we answered your questions. Alan, any other questions that came through that you saw? They're not showing up on my screen here.
Yeah, 1 second. Yes. Okay. Pink Hands of Hope asks, can you go over post? Can you overpost how much is too much?
Hi, Pink Hands of Hope. We love you guys. We've actually donated stuff to you. So thanks for tuning in. Can you overpost? Yes. The answer is yes. The answer is yes if you're doing standard posts that people are not engaging with. If you're posting in stories, not really. They're meant to be several posts throughout the day. So you can't really overpost there. So if you're just posting to Facebook or Instagram, and it's just going right on your feed, and you're posting several times throughout the day and nobody is responding, the algorithms will see that. So they will start to suppress who sees future posts. So you're going to have to work a little bit harder to get people to engage with those posts. If you're posting all day long and your audience is loving it and they are commenting and they are sharing and the algorithm sees that your audience is happy with what you're posting, you probably can't post too much. So that takes a little bit of testing on your part. So the biggest answer there is, are people responding or interacting in any way to what you post? If they're not, you might need to change up your strategy. If they are, keep going. That's awesome. On stories and reels, you can post a little bit more often. You probably have had social media fatigue, the same as the rest of us. It gets overwhelming. It can get exhausting. And so some people just respond better than others to seeing a lot of posts from one company. So that's the other thing to look at. You can see on each individual post if anybody, if you look at those insights, you can see if anybody has hidden your posts. If people start to hide your posts, then I would say slow down on the posting or change what you're posting. So that would be kind of a secondary thing. Are they interacting? That's great. Keep going. If a lot of people are hiding it, you still might want to change your strategy up a little bit. And if you have something more specific, like a specific situation, you can feel free to email us and we can talk to you about it further. But that would sort of be a general answer to, yes, you can post too much, but if it's working, then it's working. So don't worry about it. Any other questions? I think we're good. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I saw there are people hopping on and off. I know there's lots of things to answer here, and I'm probably using up your time when you would normally post on social media. So, but if we didn't answer any questions that you have, reach out to us. There's a form on our website. You can always reach out. We offer, like I said, trainings. We have all that free information for you to do it yourself. If you're just like, no, I'm tired of doing it, I don't want to do it, I don't want to create a strategy, we can do it for you too. So we can always set that up. We can set up a conversation to talk about what your social media needs are, especially if you're looking at placing ads and you need help with ads, we can help you with that too. So if any questions that you have, feel free to just send us a message and we will see what we can do to help you get on the right path and get lots of engagement. Of course, that's the goal. And then, of course, get lots of completing the sale, whatever that looks like for you, whether you're selling product or getting new clients or getting more donations. We certainly are willing to look at your stuff and analyze. We can do an analysis as well. You can just pay for that and we can give you suggestions and then you can go off and figure out what you're going to do on your own. So thanks so much for tuning in and I hope you have a great day. There's so much more information all day long on all of our social channels, and don't forget to sign up on that Social Media Day landing page so you get all the freebies and download that content calendar. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good one.